Hello, my dears. So, this is Maria Roslyn from Phoenix YouTube channel. So, I'm again here with another video on software testing. So, today our discussion is going to be about the requirement analysis. So, in the previous video, I had mentioned that we are going to look into each of the phase in SDLC and STLC in detail. So the requirement analysis phase, which is the first and foremost very important phase of SDLC, we are going to deal with this in detail. So since this has a pretty much a huge amount of content, I've decided to put it as two videos. So this will be the part one, and you can have the part two video later. So going on, these are the few questions which will be answered in this particular session. So we'll get to know what is the requirement, what is requirement analysis, when does this take place, who all participate, what are the types of requirements, the documents that are supported, and the responsibility of a tester in requirement analysis phase, and the entry and the exit criteria. So moving on to the first question, what is a requirement? So to put this, the requirement word in a simple English, it can be said that it is a need. So when there is a need, a requirement arises, or a need is converted into a requirement. Going by the definition, in product development and process optimization, a requirement is a singular documented physical or functional need that a particular design, product, or process aims to satisfy. So, this requirement can be for anything and everything. So it can be for a process improvement, or could be for a product improvement, or could be for a product development as such from the scratch. So you can see the last three words which says aims to satisfy. So a requirement is decided so that the requirement is satisfied in the process optimization or in the product that is being developed. So the requirement can be a want requirement, a like requirement, or a need requirement. Having said that, not all the requirements can be converted into a product feature. So it has to be prioritized, it has to be analyzed, and then only we can implement. So all these things will be a part of the requirement analysis. What is requirement analysis? So requirement analysis, also called as requirements engineering, is the process of determining the user expectation for a new or modified product. So I again repeat, new or a modified product. So it could be a product which is being created from the scratch, or it could be a product which is already existing. There is a problem in that, and we come up with the requirements to rectify those problems from the existing product. These features called requirements must be quantifiable, relevant, and detailed. So only when these are analyzed in detail, the solution that we provide in the form of product would be of the correct solution for the problem statement. So this steps that are mentioned here, it can be like all the steps that are taken into consideration for requirement analysis, or only few. So we start off with the observation, observing the problem statement, observing the requirements. Then we have the competitors analysis. So every now and then we have new things coming up, new implementations taking place for the applications. So even the client would come up with the another solution and say, see, hey, I saw this kind of solution in some other app, and why can't we implement such kind of a feature in our product also, or a better feature than that. So competitors analysis happen, brainstorming session takes place, team sits together, understands the requirements. Then we have the mind map, which is we'll know, like, from the requirement analysis phase, where this is going to lead us in the product life cycle. The features gets listed from the requirements, and the documentation process takes place. So these are the questions which are asked during the requirement analysis phase. What is the problem statement? Why do we need such a solution? Who are all going to be the target audience? Where this is going to be implemented? When are we going to do it? And most importantly, how we are going to do. So the requirement analysis will have all these questions answered, and only then we can move on to the next phase. So when does this requirement analysis phase actually takes place? So as I already mentioned, this being a very crucial very important step, and this is the first step. So we have a saying like, well begin is half done. So when this requirement analysis phase is taken care, and when it is done completely and correctly, then your work is half done. So the analysis phase is where the project life cycle begins. Analysis phase is where you break down the deliverables into the high level project charter, into the more detailed business requirements. So the high level scope is drilled down to get the detailed requirements. The analysis phase is also the part of the project where you identify the overall direction where the project is going to move through, and also you end up in creating the strategy documents. Strategy documents are nothing but how we are going to do, be it a development, be it testing, how the process is actually going to take place, gets initiated in the requirement analysis phase. So this is a well known story where six blind people trying to explain an elephant, but no, from each of their position they look it in a different way. So no, we always have this no preconceived notions, or we should say we have different notions when we look a problem statement in different directions, different views. But having said that, no, the perceptions may differ, everybody would come up with different ideas, that is completely acceptable. But the actual statements here, being an elephant, the elephant should be looked upon like an elephant only. Okay, so the problem statement should not get deviated. No, the requirements should not be understood in a different way. So this has to be taken care. So I thought, no, this under the small story would be helpful in understanding like how crucial the requirement analysis phase is and how much we have to take care. So, who all participate in this requirement analysis phase? The stakeholders, basically. Who are all the people who are going to get affected by the product, or who are all the people who are going to get benefited from the product, will be the stakeholders, and they will be participating in this requirement analysis phase. So, it will be the project sponsor who will be given the most importance, because they are the people who are going to fund for the product that is getting developed. So, it could be an internal client or an external client. Internal client will be, sometimes we might be in need to develop products for our own organization, so our own organization management would be the internal client. External client would be the third party, as it is commonly known. Then we have the project management team, the project manager and the QA manager. We have the business analyst who gets into the details of the business expectations. So it could be from both sides. We have end users. The end users, no, it is not always expected the end users to be explaining your requirements, but in my experience I have seen few projects where the end users themselves come and explain you the problem, and they look for the solution. So it is good to have them if at all there is a possibility. We have the development team and the testing team, of course, who's gonna compare the end product against the requirements of the clients. Then such a different depiction, say, how the people, the number of people increase in requirement analysis phase, the number of questions also increases. So everybody have a different suggestion, everybody have a different notion in understanding the requirement. So when these things are sorted out, I think we'll have a good flow of requirement understanding. So the types of requirements, we have the requirements to be differentiated into three major categories: the business requirements, user requirements, and the system requirements. Business requirement will be based on the goal of the business or the business objective. User requirements will be how much the user is interacting with the product and what all the user's goal in achieving through the product. Then the system requirement, which is be the functional and the non-functional requirement. Functional requirements are those that say what the system is going to actually do, and non-functional requirements will be how the system is going to do. So you can see a arrow that is getting drilled down from the high level to the detail level. So the business requirement, or you should say the business problem or the statement, that is getting drilled down to the user requirements, users expectations. Then we have the system requirements put together. We have the whole set of requirements which is expected to be built up into the product and provide the solution for all the problems that the users and the business have. So there could be more types of requirements also. Here it is just a depiction of a non-functional requirement. So we said that non-functional requirement is like how the system is going to perform. So that is a kind of intangible thing which we are going to identify from the system. So it could be of number of types, where we have the environmental requirements, ethical requirements, regulatory requirements. But in practical, it is not that we sit and no, we write, see, these are the security requirements, these are the ethical requirements, these are the legislative requirements, so on and so forth. It doesn't happen that way. We try to understand the requirements on the whole, we try to understand the business flow on the whole, and then we do the analysis and we get to clarify all the doubts. So just to have an eye opener on what and all the types of requirements it could be, I just wanted to share you this. So this is a kind of slide where no, there is a conversation between a person who's trying to get the requirements and the person who's trying to explain the requirements. Not all the time the client would be in a position to explain what he needs. He will have a defined problem, but it is not always expected no, the client will be in a position to explain what all his expectations is. But it is now our responsibility as a QA or as a developer, the technical team, to get in touch with the clients constantly, understand the problem and come up with the solutions and the features which can be implemented. So finally you could see in this image, no, the client himself is saying, no, can you design something which can tell you my requirements. So this could also happen. So the understanding of the problem from the client and putting down that as a requirement is very very crucial in requirement analysis, and we are expected to do that. So we have to be patient enough, we have to be considerate enough, we have to try to understand all the points and get the things clarified. So having said all these things about the requirement analysis phase, now I would want to end this session. We will have the other questions getting answered in the next video, the part 2 video. In this we saw what is the requirement, what is the requirement analysis, the people who will be participating in this phase, when this phase is getting started, and what are the types of requirements and how the interaction between the client and the organization which is going to develop the product is needed. So hope you would have understood few things about requirement analysis. So keep supporting my